OpenAI just released ChatGPT group chats. So now in your ChatGPT app, you can invite people into a chat and have up to 20 people in one chat. So it's like a combination between a group chat and ChatGPT, where ChatGPT is almost like the 21st person in your group chat. So if you've got 20 people in a group chat, it's probably already a headache, but now you've got ChatGPT. Kind of crazy. So in this video, I just wanted to do a quick breakdown, what it's like, how to use it, and whether or not you can use it in your business to become a little bit more efficient. All right, so if you come into a new chat inside ChatGPT, all you have to do is in the top right, you click on this little person icon and click Start Group Chat. Then you're just gonna copy this link and then text that or email that to whoever you want to join that group. Anybody that has a ChatGPT account and gets that link, they can just easily join that group. And then down here on the bottom left, you've got projects, GPTs, new chat, your chat history, and then you have these group chats in their own little section. So you can click the three dots and click rename and just say test group chat. So I started one right here with a dummy account here that we can kind of talk back and forth with. And this is, maybe an example of what it might look like where, John Doe said, hey, and I said, hey, John, did you get the news about Gemini 3? John said, not yet. At ChatGPT, can you summarize that for me? And ChatGPT responded, sure thing. Here's a summary of Gemini 3, right? And so it was kind of cool that you can just bring ChatGPT into the conversation. So from what I can tell, ChatGPT is not going to respond unless it really feels like it's being prompted to respond or not. And so it's actually reading every new message that comes in and then deciding the next action to take from there. And from my experiments, it's not intrusive. Like it's not jumping in and responding to everything. You can actually kind of continue on in the conversation. Like right here, it didn't actually jump into responding about Gemini 3 until John actually asked for that. So if I just come down here and I say, I wonder how ChatGPT decides to respond. It says ChatGPT is taking a look, and then it'll decide whether or not it needs to respond to that message. And you can see ChatGPT is typing, so it decided right now is a good time to respond. Good question. In this group chat, I respond based on a few simple rules. If someone mentions me directly, like just saying ChatGPT or at ChatGPT, you don't have to do one or the other. You don't have to say at ChatGPT. You could just say ChatGPT. It'll respond either way because it's reading every message. If someone is clearly asking for me for help, if someone replies to something that I said, if someone asks for an image to be generated, but I'll stay quiet if the message is just between the humans here, if no one is talking to me or asking for help, or if reacting or replying wouldn't add anything useful. So it decided on its own that it was helpful to respond with this information. And I think that was probably a good way to respond. So if I just said, great, thanks for that, don't respond unless we ask. So in here, you can see it's not responding yet. And then John said, hey, Ben, what's the content plan for the week? And then maybe I would say something like, not sure yet. ChatGPT, can you write us a content plan for LinkedIn this week? Just the topics and ideas we should focus on each day. ChatGPT is going to take a look at that as per usual and then decide how it's going to respond. And then you can see ChatGPT is typing here. So it's going to actually respond with that plan. So it threw this together in a pretty lengthy response here. So Monday, thought leadership, behind the scenes, practical value, personal POV, social proof, weekend, optional and engaging. And then there is this little reply button and reactions button. So I could react to this with a heart, or I could reply to it, which the reply feature to me feels a little more like the iOS iMessage responses as opposed to Slack threads. I like Slack threads because you can continue that conversation without messing up the whole communication chat message thread. But here it's a little bit more like iOS where I can respond and it's just going to show the previous message with the new message as opposed to keeping it all clean and organized. I guess it's better than nothing, but I definitely hope that they move more towards the Slack thread style because I think that's more of the industry standard, keeps things a little bit cleaner. So if I respond to this and I said, throw that in a table for me, please. And then John decided to say, hey, can you also make an image for today's post and mock one up? So we've got the little table here. So Monday, the topic, post idea, and it knows today is Friday. So it's actually going to go in for the Friday social proof win, and it's going to make an image with a little mock-up of what that post should be about. Nice, and you can see here, if I open up this image, it really just made kind of a blank image template of what it would look like. We would have to give it the actual win that it could put into the image. But this is a start. It's better than nothing. And I think this looks pretty decent, maybe more of a carousel style. And then I could send to this image another message to ChatGPT of what to put into that image. So I think in general, it's pretty cool. I think that people are going to use it. It's going to be helpful, whether it be for personal use with friends and family or for business use with your colleagues or your team members at your company. This is definitely going to be useful. I haven't tested it all the way up to obviously 20 people. That could get a little bit chaotic, but in general, what people aren't realizing is that whether it's from other people or from your messages, it's going to interact with the chat the same way as if it was just your messages. Because all that's happening is the AI is actually getting all of the messages and deciding what the best next message is. It doesn't really need to keep track of everything over time. And so it's just, if it gets too many messages, it's just going to truncate and condense down to the most recent messages and then a summarized version of the original messages. And so it's not that important for, it to just be one person in a conversation or 5 people or 20 people. I think that it's going to be able to keep up in general and just add value to the most recent portions of the conversation, as opposed to, a lot of people are concerned about whether or not it's just going to lose track and just get really confused when there's a lot of people throwing in a lot of different context. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but obviously the more people, the more context, the more information you give it, probably the less quality that it's going to feel like it's giving you, but it's not going to be useless. So I would say this is useful. And then especially if you bring family members into the picture or, team members at your company, and you're trying to decide, what a plan is for something, you just want to really quickly get research and everybody have the context on that research. Or if you're planning where to go for lunch and somebody just says, show us the best restaurants near me with this type of food, then everybody will have that context in the group chat. Now, I did look at the mobile app version, and it does send you little notifications in the push notifications every time somebody responds. And so that can be helpful, and you can tag each other like @BenValentine so that it notifies me in my ChatGPT app. So we're moving away from it feeling just like a ChatGPT app or a search app or an AI app. It's feeling a little bit more like a social app, which for some reason, ChatGPT, OpenAI, they're just moving that direction, more social, more market share. They're just taking other opportunities to kind of expand what their app actually is at the end of the day. So I think it'll be helpful for a lot of people. I don't really know whether or not everybody's going to love it or hate it, but I think it's pretty cool. And I definitely think you should give it a shot.